So, guys, Senegal. For those of you who don't know much about Senegal, Senegal is a highly populated Muslim country, and they are anti-LGBTQ. And more specifically, they have it's banned first of all, and there's laws against it, and there's disciplinary actions which you can go to prison, fine, or you can get lashes for this act if you are caught. So, what did the United Nations and Holland decided to do? Host a LGBTQ event in Senegal, knowing it's banned and the disciplinary action can be taken amongst people who are found promoting this kind of lifestyle in Senegal. But anyway, the foreign minister caught wind of it, and I'm going to read what he said in the response from the United Nations and also from the Dutch embassy, and then we'll dive into it. So let me go to the statement first. In a statement published on X, Senegal's foreign minister on Friday said he had been informed of a film screening to be hosted by UN and the Dutch embassy that would have been followed by a discussion on LGBTQI issues. The statement did not specify what the event was. No, sorry, not what. The statement did not specify when the event was scheduled to occur. Accordingly, the government reserves the right to take any appropriate action against any organizers of such activities, and event against participants, whatever their origin, status, or ranks, the foreign minister stated. So the key part is the last line there. Whatever their origins, status, or rank. So they don't care who you are, which country you're from, or whatever. If you're going to be a president, this is forbidden in our country. So you can just come and just do what you want. So let me just read the response from the UN first. So on Friday, Sev Magato, spokesperson for the UN Human Rights Office, told reporters the event has been cancelled and we continue to engage with the authorities. Now, with the Dutch statement. The Dutch Foreign Minister said in a statement that while the Netherlands stands for human rights and equal treatment, it has decided to cancel the event considering various factors, which is a bold faced lie because, first off, you knew the laws of the land because the United Nations know everything about Africa. They have been there for years. Holland also knows these things, but because they're trying to push this agenda, so they are testing the limits or the limits of the new government, which is um, President Faye. He's a new president for the past couple months now, almost a year. So they are testing the bounds of his limits to see how far they can and what they can get away with. By the way, but the United Nations, they are one of the most corrupt organizations on this planet, even though they claim to be for human rights and for peace. Let me give you a little backstory. In 1994, in Rwanda, when they had the big civil war, they had hand in this war where almost a million people lost their lives. Imagine that. And they were on the ground when this was taking place, and they did not attempted to save anyone. They just stand aside and watch behind their fences and watch while everything unfolds. Also, in Congo, they were caught UN vehicles and UN drones transporting gold, weapons, literally caught. And in Libya, in 2011, when they took over Gaddafi, they had hand in this as well by spreading misinformation on Gaddafi. And they also aided and laid the groundwork for these people to come. And so everywhere they go in on the African continent, right now in Somalia, there's issue and they're there. They're not assisting. There's multiple countries that have civil unrest, which they are perpetrating and egging on because. And one more final thought: did you know that any crime a UN officer is accused of, he cannot be touched by any one of the African countries that they are in? They have to. They can only be touched by their own country. So whatever they do, whatever crime they commit, even if it takes someone's life, the hosting country cannot do anything about it. So why are they there? This is one of the reasons why President Museveni of Uganda kicked them out of the country. Say, if I cannot hold you accountable for anything happening in my country, you cannot stay here, which is right. But not all countries allow this. There's a few that the UN cannot try this, but Rwanda is one of them. Uganda is also. We know the Sahel nation. They cannot try that in Sahel nations, and a few other countries, Tanzania, um, Namibia, and the other countries. They are very strict when it comes to these things. So, my point is, the United Nations is deliberately promoting this, and they're also spending millions of dollars in these countries and these fractions to spread and promote their lifestyle, even though they know a majority of these African countries, majority of them, there's 54 countries in Africa, and I think it's maybe like 3 or 4 of them, if I'm not mistaken, they can openly practice that kind of lifestyle. But majority of them, they are death sentences. They are death sentences for this kind of lifestyle. They are life imprisonment for this kind of lifestyle. And there's multiple other things they are for this lifestyle. But I don't know why the West is so you know what? Why is the United Nations focusing on an LGBTQ event when Africa have so many other issues that they themselves caused in on the continent? They have so many things, and they're talking about human rights group, human right or human rights. You don't have the right to force another human or another country to adapt to your way of life and your living. How are you gonna go in someone's country and not disobey their laws, their rules, when you know these things is that's how it is in this country? But that's it. The Western country try to force everything they can on Africa because what? If they can destabilize Africa, they can continue to reap the resources of these countries, especially in the Congo. Congo have never seen peace since 1964, 65 when they assassinated um Lumumba, Patrice Lumumba. They have never seen another. They haven't gotten any kind of peace since there because what? They took out someone who was genuinely for the country. But now they have puppets in power because they are having private airstrips being flown in by private planes. Big. I'm talking about those big ginormous warplanes that carry tanks and trucks are flying in these private airstrips in the Congo, picking up cargo, which is resources, and flying back out within a day. Flying most of the time it's in the dead of night. And we have this is not propaganda or this is not allegedly. This is happening and there is proof of it. But before, instead of they focus on that, no, they were focusing on LGBTQ to keep the people distracted from the other hand so they can see them stealing the resources. That's just it. The disrespect. But this is why I like the fact that the Prime Minister stated, I don't care your rank, your country, or who you are. Once you disrespect our laws, you'll be put out of our country. So I'm still hoping not hoping. I'm going to keep you guys abreast as to what is happening to see what will the next steps be? Will they actually kick them out of the country totally, or are they, or what's gonna happen after this? But I'll leave you guys know. So what do you think about this in the comment section? You don't know. Hit me up in the comment section. I will always respond. Tell a friend, like, comment, and subscribe. Boom.